If you ask most average fitness trainers how to achieve well-rounded shoulders that make their delts look 3D, you'll likely be told to focus primarily on overhead pressing movements. Such exercises involve training with the heaviest weights and targeting the entire shoulder complex for overall mass. Sure, presses are part of well-balanced training. That said, you mustn't also neglect the arguably most important aspect for maximizing the width and roundness of your shoulders. By this important part, we're talking about training your lateral head. In other words, you must also include lateral exercises into your shoulder workouts. Ever done side or front laterals? An upright row maybe? Or perhaps the more common exercises like the military press and dumbbell bench press. To know more about them, make sure to keep watching until the end. The anatomy of building 3D delts or rounded shoulders. The shoulder joint is the most mobile yet also the most vulnerable joint in the body, as it can rotate the arm through a full 360 degrees. The movement of the shoulder joint falls in the hands of the deltoids, which are made up of three muscles. Number 1, the front, anterior. Number 2, side, lateral. And number 3, rear, posterior deltoids. They work individually, but in combination have a single basic function, which is to lift the arm. Every progressive resistance exercise for the shoulders should involve arm lifting. Interestingly, the actual action comes from the rotation of the shoulder joint. With a couple of exceptions, all movements are brought by the rotary movements of one or more joints. Knowing which joints are involved and what they do can make you understand the mechanics of exercise and how to properly execute them. As for the shoulders, they perform two basic types of movement: presses and raises. Coming up next are the exercises you can follow which make use of either a press movement or a raise movement. 10 exercises for round wide shoulders. Presses. Presses are compound exercises, meaning they utilize more than one joint, the triceps and the deltoids. The good thing about presses is that you can use more weight since you have a leverage advantage. Plus, more muscles are involved, which makes them better for developing maximum mass and strength. Enjoying the video so far? Show some support and hit that like button. Number 1, standing military press. To start, bend down with your knees and pick up the dumbbells. Now, stand with your feet shoulder width apart and lift the dumbbells to shoulder height. You may let your palms face forward or toward your body. Once you're in the correct stance, start pressing the dumbbells above your head until your arms are fully extended. Maintain this position for a moment before bringing the weights back to shoulder height. Repeat. Number 2, behind the neck press. Begin by setting up a bench, one with a backrest inside a power rack. Position the barbell on the supports at the starting level. Now, to officially start, grip the barbell tightly with your hands wide. Create a shelf for the barbell with your lats. Then, press your back against the bench, all the while keeping it straight and planting your feet firmly into the floor. Make sure to inhale and brace your core and glutes. Now, press the barbell upwards to full extension. Squeeze and pause at the top of the movement before slowly lowering the barbell to the starting position. Repeat. We already have an exercise for standing and sitting. Now what's left is one that's done while lying down. And guess what? The dumbbell bench press is one of the top exercises for activating your shoulder muscles and making them look more rounded. Here's how to do it. Number 3, dumbbell bench press. Lie back on a bench and hold a dumbbell in each hand just to the sides of your shoulders. Keep your palms facing towards your feet for the starting position. For those who have shoulder issues, use a neutral grip, instead where your palms face each other. Now, press the weights above your chest by extending your elbows until your arms are straight. Finally, bring the weights back down slowly and repeat. Number 4, machine shoulder press. First off, make sure the handles are set at roughly shoulder height. Next, settle down in a seated position in the machine with your back against the pad. Hold the bars that are sticking out in front of you with an overhand grip. Your elbows should now be bent. Now push the weight upwards and over your head and pause at the top without locking out your elbows. Slowly lower the handles back to the starting position and repeat. Are you familiar with face pulls or cable lateral raises? From here on, we're going to talk about some lateral exercises that will target the deltoids for a wider, rounder appearance of your shoulders. Raises. Otherwise known as laterals, these are isolation exercises since they only use the shoulder joint and no other muscles than the deltoids. Raises are perfect for working and shaping the heads of the deltoids. They can also be done to some extent to the front, side, and rear delts to stress certain areas of the shoulder muscles. Number 5, side lateral raises. Begin by standing tall with a dumbbell in each hand, arms at your sides, and palms facing in. Keep your feet roughly hip distance apart. Now raise your arms simultaneously just a few inches out to each side and pause. Lift the weights up and out to each side, all the while keeping your arms almost completely straight. Stop when your elbows reach shoulder height and your body forms a T-shape. Hold this position for a second, then slowly lower the dumbbells back, bringing your arms back towards the sides. Repeat. Number 6. Front lateral raise. To start, stand with a dumbbell in each hand, placing the weights at arm's length in front of you and your palms facing backward. While keeping your palm downward, lift one arm forward and up and bring it toward the middle to isolate the front deltoid. For further isolation, use a pronated grip, rotating your thumb downward slightly. Now, lift one dumbbell so that it's directly in front of you and slightly higher than the top of your head. Pause for a moment at the top and slowly lower it to the starting position. Repeat on the other side. This exercise is usually done by alternating arms, but you may also lift both dumbbells simultaneously. If there are front and side raises, then there's also a rear variation to specifically target your rear or posterior deltoids. Check out how to do this exercise. Number 7. Rear lateral raise. Throughout this exercise, you should always keep your elbows slightly bent. Begin by standing with your feet hip distance apart and your knees slightly bent. Hold a dumbbell in each hand, resting your arms alongside your body. Make sure to elongate your spine and engage your core when hinging forward at your hips. Keep your torso almost parallel to the floor and your arms hanging down below your shoulders. Engage your shoulder blades as you lift the weights to the sides, stopping only when your elbows reach shoulder height. Then, as slowly as possible, lower the dumbbells back to the starting position. Repeat. Number 8. Cable lateral raise. Stand next to the pulley machine with your feet shoulder-width apart and a slight bend in your knees. For good posture, push your chest forward and point your shoulders back while slightly bending both knees. Now, reach across your body and grab the stirrup with your outside arm. Next, keep a small bend in your elbow and raise your arm sideways until it's level with your shoulder. Maintain this position for 1 to 5 seconds and then inhale while slowly lowering the weight back. Looking for an exercise that will surely build beefy shoulders and traps? You can with upright rows. Find out next how to properly perform it. Number 9. Upright row. Stand with your feet hip-width apart while holding a dumbbell in each hand. Use an overhand grip so your palms are facing your body. Now, lift the weights, raising your elbows out to the sides until they're in line with your shoulders. Pause for a moment at the top of the movement. Now, lower the bar with control to the starting position. Repeat. Number 10. Face pull. Set the cable at upper chest height first using a rope attachment. Next, grab onto the ends of the rope from underneath with a neutral hammer grip. Keeping your chest up and shoulders positioned down and back, pull the rope towards your face as if you're pulling the rope apart. Then, pull the weight back until your forearms are perpendicular to the floor. Squeeze your rear delts and upper back and return to the starting position. Shoulders really are the staple of a great-looking body. The V-shape it provides for your body is something that people just can't resist. Second to that is abs, and the best way to get them is through planking, believe it or not. Click here to find out what happens when you plank every day for 1 minute.